Welcome to the Personal Pension Radio Podcast, where it's all about helping you complete your financial journey to retirement. Discover time-tested strategies and get unconventional insights into wealth building and retirement that actually work. Break away from the herd and go for the retirement you dream of. And now, here's your host, the income engineer, Kraig Strom.
All right, back on Personal Pension Radio. Thank you so much for all the support. Really appreciate the feedback, all the emails. Keep them coming. Kraig at kraigstrom.com. Don't forget, it is Kraig with a K. Those of you who've met me in person, you know that's how I actually introduce myself. Kraig with a K, because it's hard to forget. Hey, I am the income engineer broadcasting from the Personal Pension Radio Workshop here in Southern California. Yes, it is, for those of you new to the show, it is an actual workshop. I build fine furniture and cabinetry and all various things of workshop-related items. And my backyard workshop, I've got a table. If you're not on my Facebook page, you can find me, Kraig Strom, on Facebook. I've got a table that I built for no apparent reason that's here in my workshop, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. Friends of mine have said that it actually is a bit too fancy to just simply give it away, that I should consider selling it. So I might actually seek out a studio, a furniture or a home furnishings type studio here in Southern California to put it on display. So we shall see. Now, my mission as the income engineer is to deliver that retirement dream that Wall Street has promised, to help you pull back the curtain on this mainstream financial advice so that you can ask questions that are going to help you get to that maximum retirement income destination that you're probably hoping for. Okay? That's the goal. That's my plan, is to help you ask those right questions. And hey, if you want to meet with me and talk about your specific situation, I don't know, meeting with a qualified financial planner, you can do that. Send me an email at kraig@kraigstrom.com. I'm always happy to chat, talk to a lot of listeners. Really appreciate it. As a certified financial planner, I was educated by the Wall Street financial advisory machine. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, Wall Street spends billions. Now hear that. Billions and billions of dollars on advertising and education for financial advisors. So Wall Street not only controls the massive amounts of financial industry advertising. I'm talking about $17 billion a year in advertising, right? Wall Street in general. They also control most of the machine that educates financial planners. So who do you think gets to craft the message that most financial advisors put out there to the general public? Well, of course, Wall Street controls the message, right? And the answer to every retirement question is invest more, diversify more, dollar cost average, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've told this story before. It's like, if you lose your dog, it's because you didn't invest enough money. If you get a flat tire on the freeway, clearly you did not invest enough money. If you're not happy with your retirement income number based on the Wall Street system, yeah, you should invest more money. Right? It's the same answer every time, and it is not accurate. It's not, folks. You've got to hear me on this. The Wall Street retirement planning message is at best half right. You definitely need to save and invest for sure. But maximum retirement income does not happen with a product. It doesn't happen with a product. Optimizing that retirement income requires a strategy. Right? That's the key. You've got to have your investments, your life insurance, your 401k, your real estate, your annuities, your Roth IRAs. You've got to have all of that working in an integrated strategy approach to maximize retirement income. So that's what this is all about. That's what I'm excited about. Now, quick disclosure, I am not an attorney. I am not a certified public accountant. They are having fun at this time of year, at the middle of April coming up here, final tax time push. I am a certified financial planner professional. All that said, and as qualified as I might sound here with my voice on the podcast, don't act on things that you hear on this show as if you're hearing advice for you specifically. And please, goodness me, do not act on things that you hear from financial entertainers. On the radio, podcast, or TV, doesn't matter. Financial entertainers are people like Dave Ramsey, who are not licensed as financial planners. They're not regulated. They have no oversight. They have no real process to give out financial advice. And yet they're just throwing up financial advice, according to them, all the time. Please meet with a qualified financial planner before you actually proceed to put something in place. And I've said it before, I would love to be that financial planner. You can meet with me. I meet with people all over the country through the miracles of technology. Kraig at kraigstrom.com. Send me an email. We will definitely connect. Now, I do have a deal of the week. A deal of the week this week. A lot of folks are giving me comments. They love my deal of the week. I am someone who is adamantly opposed to paying retail if I can avoid it. And with the way the technology is nowadays, you can buy things all over the place in all different ways. So this week it happened to be a pair of shoes. A pair of shoes. How interesting, right? I am the shoe guy. I like to buy shoes, but I hate to pay retail. So my previous pair of clearance North Face hiking shoes. Now, by the way, I'm not a big hiker. I just like the hiking shoes because they're really well built. They're strong, very sturdy. And my North Face hiking shoes I'd gotten on a deep clearance from Bass Pro Shops, I don't know how many years ago. They finally really wearing through the tread. It's time to get some new ones. And my new pair of hiking shoes arrived this week by a company named Merrell. Merrell is big in the hiking shoe business, and I found them on eBay. Regular retail on these shoes is between $100 and $140 per pair. Mine had been repaired. There was a seam defect, and it had been extremely well repaired, and I paid $25. $25 for basically, they are brand new. They just have a really cool, aggressive repair stitch on the seam that had failed. So it's like double strength on this one seam. So let's call it a 75% off deal on a brand new pair of Merrell hiking shoes. These things will last me for years, as my North Face probably will become my outdoor work shoes, and my Merrell shoes will become my just regular, everyday weekend afternoon shoes. Love it. 75% off. Sign me up. Now, this week, segment 1, Watch Your Step. My favorite financial entertainer, Dave Ramsey, makes it back to my show. He gets mentioned a lot because he is the #1 financial entertainer on the radio and out there in podcast land. And as I mentioned before, I do listen to him because it's always good to know what kind of bad advice he is throwing out there into the world. So if I can make my tiny little impact to offset that bad advice, I'll do my part, right? That's what I'm going to do. So a lady called into his show this week with a sad story of family theft. It was a sister and brother-in-law had bilked mom and dad out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Very sad, right? And it was too late. There was no opportunity to prosecute this terrible person and her husband, sister, and brother-in-law. Mom wouldn't prosecute them. It just wasn't going to happen, okay? And the real question was, how do I help my 88-year-old parents who now basically are going to need care? They're going to need care, but sister has bilked them out all their money. Dave's answer, again, was, we're talking about less than 3 minutes, right? Maybe 2 minutes of total time with this person on the radio, on the podcast, was, they can live fine on $66,000 a year. They can live totally fine on $66,000 a year, and you can sell their home so they can get long-term care. It was basically the summary of the advice was, you could sell their real estate and get them long-term care. That's it. let's see how this works. We're going to displace two 88-year-olds and put them in a nursing home. Full-blown nursing home care would eat up the proceeds rapidly, and then what, right? So no mention of reverse mortgage, right? That's an option. I mean, displacing an 88-year-old couple, think about this, folks. If you've ever moved, how difficult is it, right? It's stressful. Even if you're young and healthy, it's stressful. Packing and organizing everything into boxes and sticking it all in a truck and just moving and unpacking and all of that is so stressful. Now imagine that for two 88-year-olds that are not in great health and one might have dementia, right? Why not try and stay in the home they're in? Oh my gosh, a reverse mortgage might be, I don't know, perfect. The right answer would have been for Dave Ramsey to say this: I can't help you because I'm not a real financial planner, and you need to talk with a real, qualified, licensed, legitimate financial planner because this is a serious question. That's what Dave Ramsey should have said. If he really, truly is what he says he is, and he wants to help, and he wants to be this upstanding individual, right? He should have just said, I can't help you. You need to meet with a qualified financial planner. And he could have even pointed this person to one of his, as he calls it, smart vestors. These are financial advisors that he considers to be worthy of his recommendations. And in large part, I believe, because they pay him money to be in his network of recommended financial advisors. But still, even meeting with one of Dave Ramsey's recommended financial planners would have been better than the way he left it with this lady. No, he went on to the next caller and left this poor lady with this tiny little nibble of nothing useful. Oh, it just drives me nuts. Nothing useful. Like, that has got to be one of the most severe lapses in humankind and just service to others that just I can think of, right? You've got this bully pulpit to say, hey, meet with a qualified financial planner. Maybe even meet with one of my, financial planners who pays me money to recommend them, right? No, not even close. Just left her hanging and went on to the next phone call. Ugh, drives me nuts. Now, as I calm down and breathe deeply for relaxation, please watch your step. Don't forget, if you haven't done the credit freeze, get your credit frozen. Go to Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. Freeze your credit. My goodness, okay? We've got so much data that has been breached all over the place. From your clothing store to Equifax itself, your data is out there, and it's just a matter of time. So my wife and I have our credit frozen. Get your credit frozen, please, 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 please. Now, segment 2, this is actually questions where I've got listener questions, client questions. This is a section where I'll rant about things. Well, this week, I actually have a question that came up on a topic that ties into last week's episode where I talked about life insurance of the rich and famous, right? So last week was life insurance of the rich and famous, the story of how Michigan University was able to attract an NFL football coach back to college using cash value life insurance. Go back and listen to that details if you want more information on that. This week, though, collateral lending. What is collateral lending? Well, let me go through this. Recently, I met with a new client. I started with my usual question, which is, what have you been thinking about since we last chatted? It's a big, long series of letters that I write on the paper. I heard it and learned it from a friend, years ago, that I just write this down and I ask everybody at the beginning of every meeting, what have you been thinking about since we last chatted? Just to see what's on their mind. The top thing on this person's mind was investing in a real estate opportunity with a group of people. And he wanted to invest. And I asked him, what his working plan was at that point, and he said he was planning on liquidating investments to put cash in the real estate deal. Now, for the record, this individual has $1.7 million with another investment firm, not mine, when I met him, invested in a, air quotes, diversified basket of stocks and such. And I say diversified with air quotes because if you've heard me talk about true diversification, he was not really diversified. It was just a basket of multiple baskets of stocks that ultimately all go up and down at the same time. He's not really diversified. I asked him if he had ever heard of the 3 rules of real estate investing. Most people think the first rule of real estate is location, location, location. And I would argue that's wrong. The first rule of any investment is buy it cheap. The second rule is the one that most people don't understand, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So first rule of real estate investment, or any investment in general, buy it cheap. Second rule, with other people's money. That's the key. Buy it with other people's money, especially real estate. And the third rule of real estate investing is buy it in a good market. That's the key. Buy it cheap with other people's money in a good market. Now, how does collateral lending work? Most people know about getting a loan from a bank, and then the bank is on the title to that piece of real estate. They're using the asset, the real estate, as collateral for the bank when making the loan. What most people don't know is that there are places where you can use your money as collateral to get loans from a financial institution. So where can you hold money and gain access to a financial institution's lending? Okay, there are 2 primary places. One, investment companies. So investment companies, depending on the type of investment account you have and the level of service and all of that, investment companies, you can keep your money there, and the investment company themselves will use your investment account as collateral and will make you loans of their money based on collateralizing your investment account. They will lend you their money, right? Now you have access to collateral lending. The key is you don't ever want to borrow your own money. You want to borrow the financial company's money and leave your money in the investment or in the account earning some rate of return. Okay? Now, that's one, investment companies. The second is life insurance companies. Oh, no. Life insurance companies, really? Yes. Remember last week I talked about Jim Harbaugh's compensation package. Yep. You can borrow from a life insurance company if you hold cash value with them. Yes, you can. Collateral lending only works if you do not borrow your own money. Your money must stay invested, or in the case of whole life insurance, it must stay in the fixed guaranteed by the company account, and then the insurance company will lend you their money without stopping the rate of return on your own money. That's the key. Not using your money in the deal if possible. So here's a simple example. This is a real estate example of buying a 4-unit rental home, right? If you invest in rental real estate like Dave Ramsey says to invest, you got to pay cash. Pay cash for that. You're stupid if you get debt. Well, Dave Ramsey is flat out wrong on that topic, okay? Absolutely wrong. One of the worst things that you can do, in my opinion, on rental real estate is pay cash. So let's look at this same rental property paying cash over the course of a 5-year buy it, hold it, and sell it in 5 years. The rate of return on this exact property that I've reviewed for someone not long ago was 8.4%. That's a decent rate of return having paid cash. Now, if you go to the bank, a regular B of A, Wells Fargo, and you get a loan for 80% of the purchase price, the rate of return on that 5-year deal goes from 8% to 20%. 8% bumps up to 20%. So paying cash, you get 8%. Getting a loan from the bank, your rate of return goes up to 20%. Because now, where did most of the money in the deal come from? That's right, other people's money, right? If you were able to get a second loan, remember, we got our first loan from a regular bank like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, US Bank, whatever. The rate of return went up to 20. What if you could get a second loan from your whole life insurance company without touching your own money? What if you could use the whole life insurance company's money for the down payment? Aha! Now, whose money would be in the deal? It would be, let's say, Wells Fargo's, and your whole life insurance company's money are in the deal, and the rate of return goes from 8% to 20%, and now 58%. The exact same piece of property. The only difference is that we have increased the amount of other people's money in the deal. Other people's money in the deal. We went from an 8.4 to 58% return. Oh, that's just a little bit of an increase, 588% more than paying cash. How is that possible, right? Because that's huge, by the way. I have people that will say initially, even real estate investors will say, that's witchcraft. There's no way that is possible. Well, it is possible for this reason. The rate of return on an investment is the same regardless of how you paid for it. If you put cash in the deal, you earn 0 on the cash. Only the asset itself earns the rate of return. So if it is your cash holding the asset, controlling the asset, that's fine. You earn nothing on the cash. The asset itself earns a rate of return. If you can put other people's money in the deal, you still get the rate of return on the asset, and you pay some interest expense for the use of other people's money. Now, while this is happening, while you're getting that 58% return on that real estate asset, because none of your money's in the deal, your money is somewhere else, right? Your money is still, in this example, in the whole life insurance company's cash value in their life insurance policy in this example, earning a conservative rate of return, right? And what that rate of return is depends on all kinds of different factors. But let's say that life insurance cash value is earning a long-term rate of return of, let's say, 4.5%. Well, that's 4.5% completely tax deferred, tax free if you use it correctly in the future, right? That's a significant rate of return on a very secure asset while you still are able to control this piece of rental property, okay? If you want to learn more about collateral lending and how it works, please send me an email, Kraig at kraigstrom.com, Kraig at kraigstrom.com. I'm also happy to take you through my analysis of investment opportunities like this, because collateral lending can work on a variety of different investment opportunities. It doesn't have to be just real estate. So, and remember, collateral lending can work. It doesn't have at several different locations. You don't have to be in a life insurance company situation for collateral lending to work. You just got to be in the right investment account if you want to use an investment account for collateral lending as well. So if you want to know more about it, please send me an email. I am happy to go through it. I geek out on this stuff. I love it. That's going to wrap it up for today. Remember, take action. The future belongs to those who take action. Get out there and do this. Send me an email. Talk to your financial advisor or financial planner preferably. And if you don't have one, you've got one in me right here on the podcast. Let's connect. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Personal Pension Radio Podcast. If you missed anything during the show, that's okay. We took the notes for you. Check the show notes for links, offers, and a full transcript. And don't forget to head over to personalpensionradio.com and download your free retirement income report. While you are there, we would appreciate some iTunes love. Please leave us a fantastic rating on iTunes by going to personalpensionradio.com/iTunes. Thanks again for listening.
Now for the disclosure. Information presented is for educational purposes only and is not intended for solicitation, sale or purchase of any security or financial product. Be sure to first consult with a qualified financial advisor and your tax professional before implementing any strategy discussed here. The term personal pension refers to a marketing name designed to educate future retirees and retirees about the economic principles behind creating their own pension-like income. The term personal pension is not intended to be confused with a defined benefit pension plan offered by an employer or by a government entity.